Starting it up. Getting her ready.
I'm going to keep
The
updating
stream's
it.
a-strolling.
I'm going to keep it going.
Is that what people say? The stream's a-strolling.
I don't know what the plural for stream, like stream I, maybe?
That's not where I was going with it, but
Oh,
yeah.
dude. Literally the first like
Stream
2 seconds of the stream, I gotta fucking sneeze.
You ruined it.
Oh.
Cancel it. Shut it all down.
Stream's over, guys.
It's down. Someone had to sneeze. Wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, it looks great actually.
I think it looks pretty cool.
It looks awesome.
Not to kiss my own butt too much, but it's almost adequate.
I think it looks really good, especially for the time frame that we had to make it. I think it looks awesome. You did a great job, man.
Thank you. Thank you. No one's in here. I'm just...
It's all good,
I think
dude.
you're in here. But yeah, I don't care. We're just gonna...
Yeah, it's just for fun.
We're just gonna go. We're just gonna
Plus,
do it.
These are archived.
Say we're... Yeah. Well, I'm recording it too. But I mean, we
Okay.
can just go.
Let's go. Okay. Do you want to do the intro?
Yes. I do. What?
I heard like a big bang for some reason.
That was one finger on my desk. It just so
Boom.
boom.
It sounded louder, but it's all good.
It was a big finger. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I'll do the intro if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of QuestCast, and I'm Krackakhan, and we have Bull Moose over in this direction, I believe. He's giving you a big thumbs up. And this week's episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite upcoming games and just talking about them, having a good time here. You want to say some stuff?
Yeah, I mean, gaming is something I'm super passionate about. So, like, I don't know. I'm going to try not to, but I might go on, like, tangents at times. I'm warning you guys ahead of time.
They're good tangents, though.
Yeah, they're good tangents, but they're tangents. And, like I said, I love gaming. I'm super passionate about it.
Yeah, we both are.
Yeah, and that's a great subject to start the podcast off. Really is.
Yeah, so it'll set the tone for the whole thing, the whole season. All right. Do you want to take the first one?
Yeah, because this is technically a game that already came out. I played over 40 hours of it, and the game still feels like fresh and new, and I still want to play it and progress in it, and that's Destiny 2. Now, when we originally got the idea of this podcast, Destiny 2 was not out yet, but, you know, we had some...
We've had this idea for a long time.
Yeah, we've had this idea for years almost. But Destiny 2 is fantastic. I really do think it's like Destiny 1, but perfected. And I know a lot of people really worried about that it would just be Destiny 1 with, like, a couple of different things. But in my opinion, it fixed all the problems Destiny 1 had. I got onto Destiny 1 a little bit later, and it felt like nobody was playing the game, like running around doing quests and things like that. And it felt like the game was empty. And a game like that is built off multiplayer. And now with the public events, the strikes, the raid is also super difficult. I haven't even gotten to it yet, and I've heard people complaining about it. But it feels like an actual multiplayer game, and I love it. It is terrific. If you guys have not gotten it yet, please go and try it. It is well worth the money.
Okay. One question I have that I just thought of is, did they fix the end game where, like, can you actually just join a random group of people and do a raid, or do they keep that thing where it was like the whole time just group with random people, and at the end it's just like, get some friends or else don't play the game?
I'll say that the good part about it is that it has become more like friendly to like meeting random people. They have a system in place now where you can join random games with people and they can request to play with you again. And even it requests for you to join their guild after playing games with them. The raids, you can join random encounters on raids. I have had friends who have a lot of problems, though, because when you get into that random encounter, certain people are expecting to get carried, or certain people do not know the fights. And you've progressed in World of Warcraft, you've progressed in games where, like, the boss fights are a thing. They can be difficult. And Destiny 2 is not any different than that. It is a very difficult game at times, in the late game especially, but it's also a very fulfilling game in the late game. And I think there's a great balance between that. Like, that has to be a balance, because if it's too grindy, you're only going to like appeal to a very, very small group of people. And if it's too like casual, no, you're not going to have a sense of fulfillment while you raid or while you get that great piece of gear or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely suggest it. I've been playing it actually pretty casually. I am doing strikes. I'm not quite at the raid level for Destiny 2, but I'm excited to play with it. I've had one friend clear it, and all my other ones are like on the second fight. And I love that. Being like a hardcore MMO player back in the day, I like the fact that the raids are hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff, definitely. We are talking about the raid.
Okay. So yeah, the first one was pretty grindy. So I'm glad they actually like made like added a campaign and everything in this one where like, but I don't know, does it expand the universe that much, or is it just kind of it's there, it's adding to it?
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
That was all I had.
It is a senpai notice me story. Like, wow. It is, but the thing is, it shows you other characters. The game does a better job at when you unlock weapons or you unlock abilities or subclasses to your class. It gives you kind of a canon on the backstory of the class, which the first one really didn't do that. The first one, I didn't feel like my class was special.
It just like threw you out there. It was just like, you're fighting aliens, saving Earth. Get out there. You're on your own. Go to Jupiter. You're out there. Go to Mars.
So what is going on? How are you guys doing? There's a bunch of people, my friends. I hope you guys are all doing well.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, sorry. Back to Destiny 2. Yeah. The problem with Destiny 1 was I was always alone. It was not a multiplayer game unless you join in like some weird like group thing, like a strike or something. You were always alone. In this Destiny now, like the public events are full. I'll jump in a public event, there'll be 8 or 9 people on there, and I play on Xbox One, which is supposedly the smallest market for Destiny 2 right now. But it's really good. They've added also like a repertoire of weapons that feel different. It's not just auto rifles, pulse rifles, and what's the other one? Scout rifles. That's not just that. They have SMGs. They have multiple different hand cannons. The guns feel different too. They definitely took the community into thought when making the second one. I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, they definitely had a good like gameplay base there. Like, it was very fun to play. The gunplay and everything was super good. So it's cool to see them expand on that.
And I'll say this too. Jeff pointed out something. D1 felt like you had to have the DLC to play the game.
Pretty much.
And I agree with that 100%. I got into it way late. I got into it when the Taken King was coming out, and I got it. And then they gave you like a level jump too, so I didn't even have to level. Like, I just jumped into the end game and was like, why are we doing this? Like, I have no idea what's going on. But it was D1 was a good game, but it was, to me, very flawed. And every problem I had with D1, D2 fixed. I love it. I'm going to be playing. I will probably buy every DLC that they have. Like I said, I'm addicted to that game. It is a big reason why we are not dual streaming on Twitch right now. I got really caught up in some strikes earlier this week, and I did not work as much as I should have. I'm being honest. On that one. Really, I was slacking. I really was. Now, is there a game that you wanted to say something about?
Yeah. So I'll jump into there. Since we just talked about Destiny 2, it wasn't the first one I was originally going to bring up, but I'll just go right into Anthem, which looks like BioWare's response to Destiny. It looks really similar, but I'm a big fan of BioWare games like Dragon Age, definitely, Mass Effect, what was it? Jade Empire, going way back. So I think I'm hopeful. I mean, it looks really cool, and I'm hopeful that it'll bring like a really cool story to it. I think that's BioWare's strong suit. So I think where the story of Destiny is a little weak, I think this will be like the opposite and have like hopefully a really strong story. But I don't know. BioWare's been trying to push like open world games, like, and I think Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda, kind of suffered from being a little pointlessly open world, where like everything was just, I don't know. There's a lot of travel time and not much to fill it up, I felt like. But I hope that will be good. It comes out in 2018. I don't really have too much more about it. I haven't watched too much.
My opinion on Anthem, is that like when it first came to the scene, everybody was like, "Oh, Destiny clone, Destiny clone." Here's the thing: if something is working, people are going to try to reproduce it better than what the original is. That's in gaming in general. And then people are like, "It's a clone, it's a clone, it's a clone." They took the general idea. It reminded me a little bit, like look-wise, of Titanfall. It looked like with the mechs. It was interesting. Like you said, BioWare is the king at stories. I would love to have a game where I'm in like this mech suit shooting things down with my friends that's very story driven. I would love to have something like that.
Definitely.
It would definitely fit a role that I, as a consumer, would want to see. I would really like to see that game succeed. And also, competition makes both games get better because Destiny can't get lazy and neither can Anthem, or else people are going to jump ship and go to their other one. Also, Jeff Toast, BioWare did do KOTOR. Those two are probably some of my favorite games of all time. I replayed KOTOR 1 recently. Fantastic game.
Yeah, man. BioWare's like you said, they're just the king of stories. Like
they really are. Like,
them and like Bethesda are just top tier like at crafting a story. Yeah, top tier.
And they draw
RPGs.
you in.
Yeah, definitely. I love Dragon Age Origin. I played that game like through so many times. I sank hundreds of hours into that.
Yeah.
Just awesome stories.
I'm really bad. I have not beat any Mass Effect game yet. And I have not beat a single Dragon Age game yet. I was playing, like, I always tell people this, and if you guys ever watch my streams, you will hear, I say it all the time. I played MMOs probably only for like 3 or 4 years when all those games were coming out, and I really did miss out. And now I'm like catching up now with everybody else. I really like Mass Effect 1. I hear that's the worst Mass Effect, but I really liked it. I'm playing through it right now. It's a great game.
I wouldn't say it's the worst, but it's weird to see like the transition. I don't know about weird, but it's interesting. Like the first one is like super RPG side and like less like actiony, and you can definitely tell that in like all the skills and the dialogue and everything. And then they kind of like streamlined that into the second one. It was kind of like a hybrid, and then in the third one it's just like pure like action, pretty much.
Well, I've always heard people say that the second one is the best. At least out of my friend group, they'll say the second is the superior one out of all of them.
That was probably my favorite.
None of them are bad, though, at least in my opinion.
They're all good. They're just different.
Another game that I would like to bring up, and this is probably not on many people's list, is Dauntless. And my reasons are a little bit weird on this. Dauntless is, if you guys haven't seen it yet, Dauntless is a very... it's like Monster Hunter. It's a Monster Hunter game. And I love Monster Hunter. I played the one on DS quite a bit, and I've also played this same Monster Hunter 3 on my Wii U before. And I love the game. I love the concept. It's kind of like Dark Souls, but a little bit more forgiving for people who probably don't want the getting the crap beat out of you on Dark Souls constantly kind of feeling of a game. Monster Hunter is really for you. But what makes me really drawn to Dauntless is that Dauntless is very multiplayer driven. The devs of the game have said multiple times, like, we want you to play with all your friends. We want you to feel like being in a guild is beneficial for you and everyone around you. That aspect of it is super awesome in my eyes because it's like taking down a bunch of raid bosses repeatedly. I love it. And they also, I feel like they've gotten the microtransactions perfect in that game. They don't have anything that will get you levels. They don't have anything that will get you better gear. Everything microtransactioned is 100% cosmetic and will not affect your playing in the game. Yes, Jeff Toast, it is a forgiving Dark Souls game. Like, it is a little bit more forgiving. There's some timed strikes that you have to do on some of those bosses that I've seen that are really difficult looking, but it's gonna be amazing. I really do.
And when does that come out?
That comes out, and they said Q1 or Q2 2018. The beta is already out. The only worry... It
looks good. Like, they have the gameplay in place already. It looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
And isn't it more like dodging based, too?
Mm-hmm. You, like, roll out of the way. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, if you were good at the Zelda games, you'll be good at those games. Because it's just like dodging a Zelda boss. It really is.
Exactly.
The only thing I worry is that it's going to come out at the same time as Monster Hunter World. And people are going to try Monster Hunter World before they try Dauntless. Because Monster Hunter is a tried and true game. That's just... I'm worried about that. But I'm going to still play. It's 100% free, too. Can't beat that. It was worth a try.
Why wouldn't you try it?
It's always worth a try.
The cool thing about Monster Hunter, though, is that I think this is the first time in a while that it's actually coming out to like multiple platforms. I think it's going to be on like PC and Xbox One and just like everything. It's not just like their main platform is like Nintendo systems, like handheld especially. So that'll be cool.
And I know a friend of mine, he plays all the Monster Hunter games. He said Monster Hunter is very big in Japan. I asked him as like kind of a reference. He said Monster Hunter is huge in Japan. They have about double the games that we have here of Monster Hunter. He said there's even a Monster Hunter MMO in Japan. And he said it's such a bigger game there, and they're trying to get it to become bigger here, which putting it on PC is definitely going to do that. Comical. Black Desert Online, they do have the same MMO kind of idea to them. The only difference that Dauntless is probably going to have to Black Desert is every time you fight, it's going to be a bigger monster. You're going to try to allocate resources and find resources to build gear and things like that, much like Black Desert Online, but it's going to be more, you fight one big gigantic boss, then you guys like take your ship back to the city, build your stuff, and then go fight another gigantic boss. But yeah, so I think that Monster Hunter actually...
So is it just like purely boss fights then? It's not like...
From what I've seen, it's just boss fights, and they progress as your gear progresses. Like, you fight one who isn't too terrible. Yeah, and then what they've done in the beta that I've seen is that they'll take, like, the same boss with the same mechanics and add, like, an elemental damage to it, like lightning. So lightning will randomly come down, and you guys have to dodge that, too, while he's charging at you and stuff. So it's adding it's adding a little bit more difficulty to it. And people have told me that once you get, I think it's called the Owlkin or something like that. Every one of them has a nickname now. It's probably something, they probably call it something completely different. But it's supposed to be the hardest boss, and you have to be very, very good to clear it. Most people get stuck on that one, at least from what I've heard and seen on streams and things like that.
Yeah. I hope it does well. A lot of, I don't know, I just had thought of, what was that one RPG that was like really skill-based and all like lining up shots that just kind of like flopped? I forget what it was called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember its name either.
What is that? I don't remember. Maybe someone in the chat remembers. But
yeah, if
they promoted it like really hard, and then it just kind of flopped. Like you were like lining up little shots. I remember they showed like the PvP, and they were just like, I don't know, crazy.
Yeah, I like interesting ideas like that too. And like I said, it's 100%
W. I don't know.
I like the fact that it's free, and that's definitely, since there's no like selling point for them, they're really trying to get people like, hey, it's free, try out our game, see how it compares to Monster Hunter. Like, you're not losing anything with it. In Comical, it is kind of an MMO. There's not much story to it. At least at this point, there's not. It's in beta. They might put a story into it more later, but typically with betas, at least the betas I've played in and I've noticed, they don't add as much story to it. They might add different dynamics to the gameplay, but they typically don't add more things like that, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, the betas are to like flush out any bugs in like the main gameplay, not like give you the whole story, usually. Yeah,
and in that aspect, I guess I didn't think about it until Comical said something like that. Yeah, it might be lacking of story compared to Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter has some kind of a story, at least, and I like the story of it. So that's an interesting thing to bring up, Comical.
Okay. Should we transition into the next one?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. So another one that I'm excited about, it's coming out in 2018, is Metro Exodus, which is kind of like a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter one. Have you played any of those? Or no?
I got one of them, and I didn't play through it yet. But I know that you think very, very highly of those games, and they're usually reviewed very highly.
Yeah, they're probably one of my favorite like shooter franchises. I actually got the book too and read that. The book is pretty solid too, because that's what the games are based on, is Metro 2033, the book. That one's really good. But yeah, that game's like really, it's probably one of the most immersive like shooter games and really story driven. There's like a ranger mode where it like takes off like all the HUD and stuff. So you just like, if you want to like look at your map and stuff, you have to like pull up like a little notebook thing and light it with like a little like lighter to see it. Yeah, you don't get like ammo counts and anything. So it's really cool. The story's really awesome. It's like Russia, and there was like kind of like World War III, and nuclear bombs dropped, and everyone like hid in like Moscow's metro system. It was like built up to like as kind of like a fallout shelter type thing. But it's really cool. And there's like Nazis and communists down there somehow. I don't know how Nazis got there, but they found a way in there.
And from what I've seen in the gameplay of even like the prior one, like the previous ones of that game, they try to do different things. And with a shooter game, that's sometimes not like they don't they'll just like do that exact same thing, but a different story. And I like that Metro tries to do something different. And from what I like, once again, from what I hear, they succeed at doing that. And like I said, I love shooter games. I love to see them progress. I started all the way back in like Doom. Halo is probably my favorite series, but and I like to see them progress. I like to see them change. I like to see them become different and like kind of progress with the times like other games have. Because typically people don't ever think of shooter games as like progressive. Like they're not pushing the envelope on what you can do and what you can achieve in them. But I like that Metro does that. That's actually I was once again thinking about that as you were talking about it.
So yeah, it's really cool, really different. Definitely stands out compared to your normal shooters that come out that try and clone Call of Duty or something and just end up being like your typical war shooter thing. And it's cool. It has like a different, like a morality system too, like by making certain choices or like helping people or exploring the map and finding stuff, you like get these points. And it doesn't keep track of it in the game, but it does kind of like secretly add up. And then it decides like whether you get like a good or bad ending type thing in the end. It's pretty cool. Makes you kind of like replay it and get everything and try it out.
It gives it some actual replay value. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
I like that idea too. The only other game I could think of that like, well, a lot of games do it, but the only like shooting game that like comes to mind is Dark Watch. Love that game.
Is that like that Wild West one with like all the supernatural
with vampires?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome because if you did like the good abilities, you would get healing abilities and like status effects and like things like that. But if you did the bad stuff, like the evil stuff, you got really cool like destructive powers. And you're like being a kid, you're like, I want to be good, but you're like, oh, like I get like a cannon if I do this. Like, all right, like I'm being bad. Screw this game. Like I'm being bad.
That's like in KOTOR. It's just like you can be a good guy. You have healing and force push, or you can be a bad guy and just electrocute everyone. Get force lightning, and you're just like, I need that force lightning. Come on, let's just be honest here.
In the second one, isn't there like a ability called like force kill or like force kill or something like that? It's like, yeah, like it just like picks them up and they're just like,
isn't that's force choke, right?
Well, it's like it's upgraded version of it. It's called like force kill.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
it's
think
like
you might be right.
Yeah, it's like you like pick them up and they just fall over and die. And I was like, okay, well like this game's gonna be easier because the second one is a lot harder than the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll bring up one of my games. Okay. I don't know if anybody is like a fan of South Park. I love South Park. Like I have watched it since I was a little kid. I hate to say it now that I'm an adult. I learned a lot of things from that show, and
lessons you shouldn't have learned.
Just the lessons I should not have learned at a young age, and definitely the fractured butthole is one I'm really excited for.
Fractured butthole.
Yeah, but the reason I'm excited for is it's. For the first one, the Stick of Truth, when I heard about it, I was like, you know what? I might pick up that game, play it a little bit, probably put it down, and never play it again. It is one of the most in-depth RPG games I've ever played.
Yeah.
The story is like walking through a South Park episode, or like a handful of South Park episodes. It's super good. The classes all feel amazingly different. Like I said, it's just a super polished, super good RPG game. I loved it. I think I had like 60 to 70 hours on it. And I still want to go through and get all the achievements on Steam. And that's saying something about a game, especially when I considered it, and I'm sure a lot of people considered it, a novelty game when it was going to come out. Like, I'm sure tons of people thought it's going to get people who like South Park to see, like, Kenny, Kyle, Cartman in there and Stan in there. And, maybe like play around with it for like 10 hours and then never touched it again. Like I said, super amazing, super interesting fighting style too in the game that wasn't typical of an RPG. And they say that they're going to do that even more with the Fractured Butthole. That comes out really, really soon, actually. I think it comes out in early October or mid-October. Not 100% sure, but once again, super, super excited for it. It got pushed back a bunch and it was breaking my heart. Now I'm happy that it's actually here. I'm like super happy.
But yeah, I was in the same boat as you. I didn't expect much out of it. Like all the other South Park games, I think, have been pretty gimmicky. They're like South Park Racing or like South Park little games like throughout the years on the consoles. But yeah, this one was like, they really captured like the feel of it. It's like you're in a South Park episode, except the episode is like an entire huge adventure. And it really makes you want to explore because like every little like thing that you find, like you're like, oh, there's a hidden path around here. And then it's just like an awesome little event that goes on there. or you're like walking through the sewers and then you find that crab people guy. It's like crab people talk like, what is it? Walk like crab, talk like people, something like that. But yeah, and then it's amazing
when you unlock, and then the aspect I like too is I was like, you know what, like they're not gonna have armors, they're not gonna have weapons, like you're just gonna walk through it with the same abilities the whole game. No, there's talents, there's the classes are super different. I don't know what class you played. I played the warrior class.
Let's see, what were the other ones?
There was warrior.
I think I was. Did warrior have a bat or something?
Yes.
Because one he like threw up a baseball and like hit it.
That's the warrior.
That's the one I was. Yeah, I was a warrior.
There's the warrior, the Jew. It's an actual class,
I know,
and then the wizard, and the thief.
Yeah.
And then what I found though at the end of that game that was super overpowered that you could use on people were bleeds. If you could like make somebody bleed in the game, since it could stack up to 5 times. They would die instantly. I still can't beat Al Gore. Like he kicks the shit out of me in that game. Still,
wow.
I've got nearly every weapon. I've tried every combination. I've tried using Butters is my favorite like partner character because he gets a free heal. So it's like you don't have to pop as many potions.
He turns into Professor Chaos.
And when he does turn into Professor Chaos, he messes people up. He really does. But yeah, that game. It also doesn't take itself too seriously, and I love that. I don't know. I am in love with the Stick of Truth. Super surprised by it. Like I said, could not believe how good it was.
Yeah, so many references. Just like the whole span of like every single season, they had a ton of things from it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
If you're a fan of the show, it just like blows your minds how many multiple
I'm also
minds.
Like I'm happy that it I would rather a game take time and be perfect than for them to release it later and it to be subpar. That's at least my opinion on the subject.
I don't think a lot of publishers get that. Like they set a date and they're just like, okay, I don't care that you're saying it's not done yet. Let's just get it out there. And then like everyone just hates it and like craps on it and then doesn't want to buy it. It's like in their best interest to like push it back like a little bit and release something solid.
Well, Ubisoft said that about they were tired of doing that with their Assassin's Creed games. Like they announced that they're not going to do big title games every year, that they were going to give them time and try to release them because they were the fans were saying that their games were underproduced. They were not finished.
Yeah, they're coming out with a lot of bugs that are really obvious. Like they didn't have time to test them at all. Yeah,
well, what was that game, Watch Dogs?
Oh, yeah.
That people were really upset. They were saying that it had like PS2 style graphics in certain places and
like
stuff.
They had crazy, like the trailers had crazy graphics, and then they just like lowered it so much when they released it.
They gave you the old bait and switch after you pre-ordered it and bought it.
Yeah.
Then they were like, "No, you're done. Like we're gonna give you this game."
The bait and switches gave me flashbacks of No Man's Sky. That bait and switch. That is like.
I was really excited about that.
I know. I was like I was excited for it, but I was also like, if they even like have half of what they're promising, like this is gonna be a good game, and they didn't even have that. That's the expectation I went in with. I was like, if they even do half of this, I'm gonna have a great time in this. And then it's like it feels so empty. You're just like walking around the universe, looking at the same stuff, like picking up stuff for no reason.
Yeah, I felt that way too with that. Also, you know how they say, like, there's no way you can find your buddies in this game. And that streamer, it took him 15 minutes to find his friend.
Yeah. Like you couldn't even, like, play together. You can just, like, be on the same planet at the same time.
Yeah, that was, I don't know.
See each other.
That game was just, it promised us the world and didn't give us anything. Yeah. Much like another series, Fable. Fable 1 and Fable 2 were great games, but they definitely promised way more than what they gave us at the end of the day. Which
what was the last Fable called?
After Fable 3?
That was like the industrial-y Fable one. Oh, didn't that company went out of business, right? Like Lionhead?
I think they did because
they were coming out with like a weird like online multiplayer thing, and they went out of business.
Well, the developer the developer was very They would make these products and they would like run them into the ground before they came out, and it bankrupted them. It really did. And that's the thing. You can't promise us the world and then not deliver. What you should always do as a gaming company is under promise, over deliver. like how Fallout 4 did. Like, Fallout 4 is not my favorite Fallout, but what they did is they're like, all right, guys, like here's the game, here's all this stuff that you can create just about anything, and then they're like, oh, it comes out in like 4 months, and everybody's like, oh god, like everybody freaked out, like I think I fainted, like that's what every gaming company should do. That's why I'm not mad about. I was gonna say at the end of the stream, I'm gonna say it now. I'm not mad that Bethesda hasn't announced a new Elder Scrolls game, because I know at some convention somewhere they're gonna say, "Oh, look at our new Elder Scrolls game," and it's gonna come out in 4 months, and I'm gonna be like, "Well, time to tell my friends goodbye for a while, and I'm gonna play this game." I know that's gonna happen.
That's what they usually do. That's the way to do it too. Is just like announce it when it's like almost ready. It's like 90% there, and like you just get all that hype. But like people start like years in advance, and like no one remembers that it's coming out by the time it actually comes out.
Well, that was the problem with that. Once again, the guys who made Fable, they had that one that they were going to do that was kind of like Gauntlet, and it was 4 characters playing in the Fable universe, trying to do something that's like in the canon of the Fable universe.
And there was like one person playing like the opposite, right? Like they were like setting traps and like positioning enemies and stuff. I think, right? So it was that type of game. And
then when they did that, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be able to do all this stuff. Like the game's nearly finished. Like we're gonna play we're gonna show you guys this in a couple months." Delayed it twice, or they delayed it eventually, and then they just announced that they weren't making it. And you can't do that. That makes your company uncredible at that point. And gaming fans are quick as hell to turn on you. Yeah. Especially if you don't deliver a product that is satisfactory. Like it's just a fact. And yeah, a lot of
satisfactory, and that's a factory. Yeah, they did actually have an alpha for that game. One of my friends got into that and said it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I mean not amazing, but I mean it was like an early alpha version of it.
So another game,
like a full weekend or something.
Another game that I'm pretty excited about is Shadows of Middle-earth. Now, I didn't play through that one, or the first one. I have watched like a guy play through the whole game, because at the time it came out, I was super busy. I couldn't play it. I really love Lord of the Rings. It's probably one of my favorite like fandoms in existence. So when I saw it, I was like pretty apprehensive. I was like, oh, I hope the story is not like cringy, not like anything Tolkien would write at all. I was like, oh, please don't, please don't. They actually did a really good job at putting a character in the universe and making it their own. And the fact that he's like fighting orcs and getting them on his side is really, really interesting. I really liked it. Now, I know that you, though, have actually played the first game. What did you think about it?
Yeah, so the combat's pretty much, it's like Assassin's Creed. They just kind of like, pretty much like copy-pasted that into this. But they have that Nemesis system, which you mentioned, which really adds on, where you can like, the people you fight and interact with kind of like grow from your encounter. Like maybe one guy got lit on fire during a battle, and then he's like scared of fire or something later on, and he remembers it, and things like that, which makes it really cool. And you have to like learn your enemy's weaknesses and strengths and stuff, and kind of like work around that, and you can recruit them. But Shadows of War, I think the original was kind of like a more limited scale, where like most of the battles were like stealth and like get in and like maybe have some of your guys with you, but it's like kill a guy and then try and like get out. But in this one, what it looks like, there's going to be like huge sieges and wars and stuff, and they're like bringing the Nemesis system to like the next scale, where you're taking over castles and like appointing people to rule over them, and like bringing generals, and there's like siege equipment and stuff. So I mean, it looks really awesome. And actually, I was looking up the trailer like right before we started this, and there's like a cool interactive trailer thing too. It's like a live action thing with like showing it off, and like you can like click and make choices in it, and like it does different stuff. It's kind of cool. So people should check that out. That's pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, they're adding new depth to the game, right? Like that's one thing I always like, because when a gaming company gets really complacent with the perfect game that they put out, or the near perfect game they put out, like the first one was fantastic. Like people were like super hyped about it. And now that I see, like, okay, now we're sieging things. We're taking over castles. We're like making this a lot broader of a game. I think that's super cool. They're not satisfied with it being as good as it is. They want it to be even better. That's a great sign of things to come from that company. I want to see more Lord of the Rings games, to be honest. That world is super cool. There's so much you can do with it. The RTS was badass, though. I loved the RTS. With Tom Bombadil, he just kicked people across the map. He would like never kill them. He would just kick them across the map, take them completely out of it. But yeah, I would love to see that game succeed so that we can see more games like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be. It's
an interesting
idea.
I'm
excited about it.
I'm gonna play through the first one, and then I'll play through the second, of course, just because I'm a stickler for like staying on track with games. I have Necro, who will be on the streams eventually. He can play like the third game in a series, then play the first, then play the last, and just be fine with it. Doesn't care. And to me, it bothers me so badly to do that. So yeah. I will never. I will always beat the first and go in order every single time. Yeah,
I'm usually the same way. Unless it doesn't matter. Like it's like in the same universe, but like a different story. I'm just like, all right. But
yeah,
if it's like a continuation, yeah. But I mean, you can't just pick up on the last Mass Effect. Has he done that? Is that what he's done that with? Because that is just terrible.
he beat all the Mass Effects
in order.
In order.
All right, good.
But I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the Halo series that he started with like 3, then went to 2, then like he went backwards on him, and then beat 5, then 4, and then Gears of War he went 2, 3, 4, 1.
I feel like you can probably do it with the Gears of War one.
Yeah, because
they're each kind of like their own self-contained story, and they all pick up at weird points too. Like some of them.
There's always a time skip. There's always like, like 3 months after this, and it shows you a clip of what you did.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that one's not so bad.
Yeah, I also they haven't announced anything about it yet, but another game I'm hyped about, Gears of War 5. I don't know. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. But that end of 4 was like, I was like taken back. I got chills, and because Gears of War is my favorite series all time. I'm gonna replay through them now. Just saying that. Like I haven't played a Gears of War game in like 3 months. It's about time for me to play through the series again.
We should play 4. I got 4. I only played a little bit of it.
I'll play through.
We're doing it. It's happening now.
It's super amazing. It's a great game. In my opinion, on my review scale, it's like a 9 out of 10. I'm partial because it's Gears of War. I love Gears of War. It's a great game. Like I said, I cannot express my love for the Gears of War series enough. No, like I said, another game I want. I know nothing about it. All I know is that it's going to be epic, and they're going to do a 5 and a 6. So I have to keep my Xbox consoles until that point.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll do one next. Total War Warhammer 2, which comes out September 28th. That's coming up. I'm really pumped for it. That's like a week away. That's, well, you know what it is, but I'll just say it's like that grand strategy where you have like the overworld map. It's set in the Warhammer fantasy universe, which is pretty cool. I think that's one of the better fantasy universes in my opinion. I'm more of a fan of like 40K, but the fantasy is pretty solid too. Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
The thing that I really like about the Warhammer series or the Warhammer Fantasy or 40K is every faction feels immensely different. In the first game, I probably only had like 10 hours played on the first game, but every faction feels completely different. Nobody feels the same. No unit even feels the same. A heavy unit from the vampire counts and a heavy unit from the dwarves is completely different. There's nothing similar. And they have so many factions in that series, and they always make them feel different. I think it's great. I almost like those games more than the Total War series because of the difference I feel while playing a different faction. It almost feels like a different game.
Okay. So would you say you like Warhammer Total War better than you like Total War?
Almost. It's up there, man. Like Total War 2, probably not. Total War 2 is almost perfect.
Okay.
Or Rome Total War.
Rome Total War? Okay, yeah.
Almost perfect.
This one, they kind of brought it to like a whole nother level with this one. They stepped up like the graphics and the gameplay a lot.
Do you know what the factions are?
Yeah, the factions, I'm excited. The Skaven are coming in. I thought they were going to bring them into Total War, or Warhammer, the first one. But yeah, they got the Skaven, they got the lizard people, they got, I think it's like dark elves and light elves. That's probably not their official names, but that's pretty much what they are. But they changed it up. It's not like the other one was pretty much like just conquering the map and stuff, and that was like the overall goal, and surviving like the chaos invasion and some other stuff. But in this one, like, I don't know, there's some kind of like magic-y maelstrom thing coming, and like I think the Skaven and the Dark Elves want to kind of like use magic and destroy the world, and then the Light Elves and the Lizard people want to like do a spell to like save it. So yeah, so like you have to do like you have to like build up enough magic points or something and like do these rituals, and then everyone has to like come and stop you or something. So it like changed up how the game works. So I'm interested to see exactly how that works, because they haven't done anything like that in like a Total War game before.
And what I like about the Total War games too is, and I know that I've like off stream jokingly like teased you about like, oh, like they don't release any of the groups in the actual game until like they add DLC. I'll say this: their expansions are like, they're not super expensive. I checked one right before the stream. It's like $10, $11, and you get like a whole faction. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but a whole faction in that game is like I said previously, a whole different play style. Like you were getting a different experience of the game, and they have so many groups to choose from. Hopefully, with this one, they like keep a hold of it. And didn't they add 4 more or 3 more with the first one?
Added a ton, yeah. And they put them on like sale pretty frequently too.
Mm-hmm.
And when they release it as like another like faction that you can play, it's not like they're just like selling you what was already in the game, because there's like mods that you can activate and you could actually like play them beforehand. But when they release it as a mod, they like give that faction like customized mechanics and like goals and stuff and different quests and like new lords and new units, and they really like beef it out. So I mean, it's worth it what they do. But yeah, so it started out with the greenskins, the dwarves, the vampire counts, and the empire, and I think the chaos too, but that might have been like a launch DLC or something. Like if you pre-ordered it, you got it free. I think it was something like that. And then they added Bretonia was free. They added a lot of lords and free units and stuff. They added like another vampire count faction or something, like Von Karstein or something. They added like at least 1 or maybe 2 different greenskin like separate empire things. They added a goblin kingdom, and they added a second dwarf kingdom. Oh yeah, and then recently, like I don't know, like earlier this month or maybe last month, they added like a Norska one that you get it for free if you pre-order the second one. So I got it that way, and they're kind of like chaosy, like wildling type people that are up in the north.
Yeah, and I like that they're like doing 4 completely new factions, because I played a little bit of the tabletop game, and I really like playing as the dwarves in that, because they play very similar. They're like slow to like get to you, but once they get to you, like they're really going to deal the damage, and they have really good artillery units. But yeah. I like that, and
gyrocopters.
I think those things are cool.
Yeah, those are
dwarves have some really cool stuff. If you guys haven't played those games, like play them, because it's super cool. The vampire counts, like it's hard to even kill them because they like raise back up from the dead. I remember you and I were playing in the first one, and like it kind of looked rough for us a little bit, and then you're like, nope, you like raised an army up behind them, and we like pushed them all in. That was actually really good. That's a really good game. It's also one that like, I don't want to call it a niche game, but a lot of people would think not to try it unless they were fans of the series. Trust me, like you can jump into those games and play them, and you do not have to know a bunch of lore or anything like that. Yeah. You will have just a fine time with it.
And as far as like strategy games go, or grand strategy games like that, I think Total War is like the most approachable. Like you can just pick up a Total War game and like learn it and be having fun like in an hour or two and just be like ready to go, like, and learn it while you're playing. But if you pick up like some of the, I don't know, like Europa Universalis or Crusader Kings or some of those, like you're just like, you don't know what to do if you just jump in. Like you have like hours and hours of just learning before you know like any of the mechanics to like just play it at a basic level. I feel like there's like a huge like learning curve to climb up first.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because I tried Crusader Kings once because I saw a Reddit/gaming post of a guy who managed to actually make a horse the royal line of like of his kingdom, and it really was a horse with a crown on it. He said it took him, I can't remember how long it took him, but it took him a while to do it, and the horse became like the king. Like,
how does that even happen?
Welcome back, comical. But yeah, I don't know how it happened, but the horse.
And that wasn't a mod. That was just.
It was not a mod.
That was just
it was
it.
he.
So someone along the way like married their horse, and then the horse
Well, and yeah, they married the horse, and what he did was like every time they like have like a kid or something, like or there'd be a child born that would be like above the horse in the royal line, they would like make them join like a religious order, or they would kick them out of the family.
Was it the same horse, or did they have like half? They had centaur offspring.
They had you had like a 50-50 chance that your kid just ended up being a horse. So like the ones that were horses works. Were like, get kicked out. And then like the horse kids moved up, and then eventually it was like 2 horse kids like were the only ones that were allowed to be like king. And then one like got to the throne, and he was like religious too, so he had like a pope hat on. So like it was horse like pope. Yeah, it was like the horse pope. Yeah, the horse pope became like king of this guy's like kingdom. Wow. One, like I said, that game's interesting. But Jesus, was that like, it's a very, very hard game to just jump into. Total War is definitely the one to jump into if you want to play those kind of games.
Yeah. And Total War is one of my favorite series. Like, I've sunk so much time, probably like hundreds and hundreds of hours. I've been playing back since like the first one, like Shogun Total War, and I've had like all of them since then. I think I got Shogun Total War when I was in like elementary school. So I've been a fan of the series quite a long time.
You're an expert of the series, is what we can say.
Okay. A veteran.
But
yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I wish at some point, I'm hoping that like they'll move on and do at some point like a Warhammer 40K version of it, because I feel like it would work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like melee is a huge part of it anyway, so I mean I think they could just like bring that in and it would work pretty well.
And I think it would transition well too. I mean, a lot of what it is too is like I said before, the tabletop game. Melee is super important, and honestly, the tabletop game is so similar to the Total War game that like you could really just transition it over really well. And I think that's why Warhammer Total War has done so well, is because it's really just the tabletop transitioned over with slight tuning to make it to where it's a little bit faster paced. You don't have to move everything one character at a time, like style. But I think it's terrific. I really do. I'm excited for it. I might get it on sale. But I definitely am going to get it.
Okay. Well, I have it already, so I'm excited.
You pre-downloaded?
No, not pre-download, but I mean, I have it pre-ordered. So I'm excited. Do you have a next one, or should I just go into another one of mine?
Well, the next one for me, and this is Battlefront 2. I'm sure multiple people watching this game are big fans of the original Star Wars Battlefronts. I love the games. I was really excited when they announced a new Battlefront after they had canceled the previous one. I was excited. I was like, EA is really going to take this. They're going to make it into a fantastic game. It is not a bad game. Don't get me wrong. The first one is not terrible. It is unfinished, would be my opinions on it. And the community as a whole said the same thing. They're like, this is an unfinished game. It definitely shouldn't have been a $60 game with the day one DLC. We want you guys next time to give us a finished game, then we'll pay for your DLCs that EA is so notorious for doing. And what we got is a beta for Star Wars Battlefront 2 that is like doubled to triple the size of the original Battlefront game. Now, like I said, I don't hate Battlefront. I'm not bad-mouthing it, but in my opinion, it was an unfinished game.
Yeah,
not a bad game, unfinished.
A big complaint of that is like they had like the beta and they gave you like 3 maps, and then they released the full game and it had like 4 maps, and they give you like 1 more map than the beta.
And then
like that's pretty awful.
Yeah, the space
and then
battles,
sell you season passes and maps and things like that.
Well, so I think EA has learned from that. I really do.
So. I think I'm hopeful it's going to be a step forward. They're not going to use that same DLC model.
And I'm excited for Battlefront 2, but I'm going to say it right now. I'm not getting it day one.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it see how it does.
I'm going to wait for the reviews. I'm going to start these podcasts, or we're going to start these podcasts up. I'm going to see what everybody else is saying about it. And if they don't like it, I'm going to be like, okay, it is not for me then. I know Comical is a big fan of it. He's going to let me know if it's good or bad. Like I said, I don't want to buy an unfinished game. EA is notorious for that. Mm-hmm. And I do not want to do that. I've done that too many times before. I've been too invested in a game before it comes out, and then it comes out unfinished. I think the second looks terrific. You can actually play the Galactic Civil War, and you can play in the Clone Wars, which is something I think you have to do. If they did it in a PS2 version of the game, you have to do it in an updated version of the game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited about that too. I was kind of sad that the first one didn't have not the Galactic Civil War, the Clone Wars in it. Because I like the Clone Wars. Those are really cool. I like those droidicas, those roller ones that come out. Those ones are cool.
I like the aspect now that you're picking a class. Because in the first one, that's what I liked about it, is you're like, okay, well, I can be a jump trooper or a sharpshooter or an engineer or a regular clone trooper, commando, all that stuff. You could really jump in there and pick a class and do it. Well, in this one, it's like got a monetary system. Like, oh, you get 2 kills, you get this many points. You can upgrade, or when you die, you can play as this specialty class. And now instead of running around the map, which I don't know how true this is, I looked it up, and this is what the article said. In order to get specialty characters like Sith, or like a Sith leader or a Jedi or Boba Fett or Han Solo, you had to like run around and find tokens.
Yeah, and then there's people like not playing the game, just sitting back and waiting for tokens to spawn, which I think is a really crappy way to do that.
I think it's really crappy, and it takes away from the original feeling of the game, because you got a bunch of kills, then all of a sudden Yoda comes out and starts like murking everybody because you guys did well and you got a hero out there. That's what I like. I watched the beta too on that, and they were fighting for Naboo, and what I like, and I've never seen a game do this well yet. I don't know if there are games out there that do this well, but there's like aerial battles going on while these people are fighting on the ground. I think that's super cool. A lot of games, it's like, oh, the aerial is like you can't even get like off the ground without the wings getting ripped off of the ship and you die. But in the second one, it looks like really good, and I really am hopeful to see them fight. Also, the space battles looked really cool. They have entire maps that are just space battles. It's really interesting. I'm super excited about the game.
The second one had that too, like on the way back.
Yeah, the way back one. Like, like what I said before on the thing too is like you have to have what you had on a PS2 version of the game on an updated one. You just have to. You can't like undersell us on that. But we need more Star Wars games in general. I said it about the Lord of the Rings universe. I'll say it about the Star Wars universe. Perfect. It is perfect to make 1,000,000 games. Give me KOTOR 3. Give me Republic Commando 2. I have the RTSs somewhere around here. Give me, like, the RTSs were really fun. Like, I'm telling you, give me Star Wars Galaxies. I don't like any Star Wars game. Except, Krackakhan did tell me when we were talking about this before, there was a lot of
really... You want more of these?
Yes, Rogue Squadron.
Let's get more of these in there.
Yes,
Let's get Rogue Squadron and Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire was balls hard, though.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But
that's where... what was it? I think that's where they got the idea for Rogue Squadron. Like, they introduced that like level where you're flying the speeder and like in the Battle of Hoth, and like people loved that, and they were just like, "Oh, Rogue Squadron."
That game was terrific.
That was a good game.
But like Krackakhan pointed this out to me, there's been a crap ton of really bad Star Wars games that I somehow don't want to think about.
There's been like thousands of games that have been pushed out there, and there's like a handful of really good ones that are just amazing that we like to only think of.
Yeah, because what was one? Any of the ones that are based off of the movies are not that good. I remember getting...
What about all those like cartoony, like, you know that like, I think it was called The Clone Wars, but it was like that animated movie. There's like 1,000,000 spin-off like games of that. I don't know how good they are, but I've never played any of them, but I know there's 1,000,000,000 of them.
I have never played them, but I do know that like the Phantom Menace, like the first game, like Obi-Wan looks like...
PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know why,
liked it,
but it's like, it has a special place in my heart.
But I got my ass handed to me all the time. I lost way more times than I won. I had to have my buddy David get me to Tatooine in that game because I was so terrible. Like, I couldn't get through the first level.
I love that game though. Like, there is like so many like little hidden tidbits and like multiple ways to like approach a situation that it's really cool for back then. Well,
I want a Republic Commando 2.
Yeah,
I want that so bad. Republic Commando was amazing. It was a little short. I'll say it was a little bit of a shorter game.
It was,
but it was terrific.
The squad AI was kind of stupid, but it was fun. That the mechanic was fun anyway.
Yeah, you thought you were bossing around.
Yeah, you were like, go over there and do that. No, don't get gunned down by a machine gun.
Yeah, they're just like walking. One's walking in a corner, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Like you're getting mad.
Just like real life.
Yeah, I really want to see a resurgence in Star Wars games. That one that I don't know if they've announced. Someone fact check this, but it was the one where you're playing as a smuggler, and they didn't quite. They canceled it. They flat out canceled it at one point in time. I know that. And then the next thing I know, they were talking about bringing it back. I don't know if they brought it back yet, but you're a smuggler, and it's really all about the Star Wars underworld.
How old is this? Is this recent or old?
They were going to put it on Xbox One and PS4, and then when Lucas was sold to Disney,
is that the one that had that like it was like a 3 numbers or something? There was one that would just numbers
118 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That looked pretty good. Yeah, they just canceled that.
Yeah, and those are the kind of games we want to see. No offense to Jedi, but I'm tired of seeing Jedi and everything. I want to see all the different aspects of a Star Wars game. I want to see Mandalorians, which are my favorite. Boba Fett's the man. I want to see Mandalorians. I want to see Wookiees. I want to see everybody. I want to be a Wookiee with a bowcaster. Like, come on, like let me be all the cool stuff that I see in the movies. And I feel like there needs to be a resurgence of Star Wars games, good Star Wars games. I really do. I'm staunch on that one, especially Star Wars shooters.
Yeah, I just remembered a while ago I saw like a YouTube video that was talking about when they were developing like a Battlefront 3, like back after the other one came out for like the PS2 and Xbox, and like they were kind of far along in its development when it was like canceled, and they were actually back then like kind of integrating where like there was space and land battles going on at the same time, and you could like fly between them in one map, which would have been like super groundbreaking back then. Like I have no idea how they would have fit that in on those hardware back then. That would have been crazy.
Blown my mind.
I know.
I would be like, oh man. Well, and also I've heard I'm gonna have to get a PS4 for this. This is kind of cheating. Okay. They said something about re-releasing the Spyro games and like a pack and like for PS4. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to buy a PS4 now because I really like Spyro, and I would really be down to play those games. They kind of beat Spyro into the ground, much like they did Sonic.
Yeah.
But I would love to play through Spyro again because I have countless hours playing that game, collecting those rubies.
What's that? Oh, they're kind of do like a bundle, like they have the rare bundle. It has like Donkey Kong and like all those types of games in it. Yeah.
And then it's because they keep getting success with it. Like they did the Crash Bandicoot one, and everybody bought it. If I had a PS4, I'd have bought the Crash Bandicoot one too. My favorite Crash Bandicoot game though is the racing one. I'm like a weird. I like the one where they were racing. It was like really good. I liked it more than Mario Kart. Mario Kart just made me rage constantly. I had broken a couple of N64 controllers, like getting ran off a Rainbow Road.
Wow, such rage. Rainbow Rage.
Rainbow Rage is But yeah, researchers in Star Wars games, give us what we want, and we want Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Like, contact me. I can tell you, I will give you a list of the games that need to come out. Like, I'm talking to EA. I'm talking to all of them. I will give you a list. Create them. You guys will sell. I will make you millions of dollars off that.
Okay. I'm going to transition to another one that I'm looking forward to, which is Mountain Blade Bannerlord. Have you played any of those? They are... No?
Oh, I've played Mountain Blade Warband.
Warband's good. Warband's solid.
Terrific game. It's a really interesting concept. Like, you don't see many games doing it. I haven't gotten to play this aspect of the game though, but the Mountain Blade Napoleonic Wars is like you play multiplayer. Yeah, and then like
seems
I think it's interesting to line up and shoot and stuff like that. And
people are like role playing in it and stuff.
Yeah, Mountain Blade is its own thing, and that's what I like about it. It is its own. Like nobody tries to be Mountain Blade, and I'm excited to see the new one. Is the new one multiplayer?
The new one, I'm sure it has multiplayer in it, but I don't know. The main thing is the single player like sandbox mode. I'm pretty sure. If they had did like a co-op in that mode, that would be amazing.
I would buy it.
But yeah, I mostly like it for the single player. But it's kind of like, if anyone doesn't know that, it's like that sandbox, like third person RPG type one. And the new one, they like stepped up the graphics like a crap ton. Like it looks kind of like, I don't know, they brought it from like outdated like old graphics, but I mean there's mods to make it better. But now it kind of looks like at least like Chivalry or better like graphics type thing. So I mean they look really good. There's more like strategy in it. They have like, it already had battle sieges, but now there's like siege equipment. Like there's like catapults and like ballistas, and they're like dumping hot oil and stuff on attackers. It's pretty crazy. So I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be really good. And a big thing about them is always the mods. Like there's so many mods for all the Mountain Blade games that just completely change it. Like you'll have mods that turn it into Star Wars. You'll have ones that just add like expand the map and like add all these crazy like fantasy races. There's a Lord of the Ring one that's really good. There's ones with guns. There's like a World War II and World War One one. It's craziness.
Really,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to do that on. Is Warband the one that has all those mods on it?
I mean, all of them have it. The first one does too, but yeah, Warband has a bunch. Like the Star Wars one and the Lord of the Ring ones are like really popular. There's one that starts with a P. It's like Pendor or something. I don't know. That one's really good too. That one adds just a ton of stuff. But yeah, they're really good. What else was? Oh yeah, I was playing back. Let's see. The first one came out I think when I was in like high school, and actually for like one of my senior classes was like a programming class, and they let you like pick whatever you want to do for a project. And for one of them, I just like modded the original Mountain Blade and like added new units and like custom factions and stuff in it, and that was really cool. So
what grade did you get on that?
I think I got an A. It was pretty good. You had to like show off what you did, and like I just got to like play the game in front of the class for a little bit. It was really cool.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah, that's custom, like being customizable. I didn't even know it was customizable. I just thought it was like a game you picked up and played. I played the crap out of it because I really like the fact that you can be like a leader of an army eventually. Mm-hmm. Like you can get your armies like super huge.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about it too. Yeah, it's like in most games, I don't know. There's not many where you like recruit people and like level them up and stuff, and then when the battle goes in, you're like actually like on the foot with them, like you're in the field, you're at the same level as them. I think that's really cool.
It's really interesting. Like yeah, I really like those games. I'm gonna get that one as well. Hopefully they do have a co-op campaign because we could do like a let's play or something of it and upload
that would
to
be
the channel.
Amazing. And when that comes out, I'm gonna put so much time into that. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm a huge fan of that.
When does it come out? Do you know?
I couldn't find a solid release date. I think some things were saying early this year, but I don't know. It might be next year. Probably next year. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll come out when it does. And like eventually. As long as it's perfect, this is all like that's all.
I think they announced it and have been working on it since like 2012 or something.
Okay.
So it's been like a long time, but I think they're getting close. Like they're putting out like a lot of content, like video gameplay and stuff consistently, which means it's probably getting close here, like later this year or early next year, probably. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's one that now you've got me wanting it. You've done 2 games now that I want to get.
What was the first one?
Or Warhammer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When it's on sale. So to a lesser extent.
When it's on sale.
You should get the Metro Redux bundle. They usually put that. You can get it like $5 or something on sale. Mm-hmm. And it's like both of the games, except that developers did something cool. Like they went back and like updated both their games, like boosted like the graphics, and they took mechanics from like the first or like the second game and then put them back into like the first one, so it makes it like a lot more fun and like a lot kind of like usability and gameplay improvements and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I definitely have to get that. You got like a list accumulating in my head now that's like get this, get this, get this, get this, and it's like, oh man, my paycheck's not going to be like in Krackakhan right now. Like I'm definitely, because I'm strapped with Destiny. Like Destiny it does take a little bit of time to like progress in the game and be super good at the game, but in my opinion, it doesn't feel grindy. So I don't have a problem with grinding at it, but
the first one was super grindy. That was one of my main thing. It's like there was no story, and like the missions were just like your normal, just like cut and paste RPG ones. It's just like there's 30 bad guys over here, go kill them up good, and it's like that's what you just went and did, and you're just like, oh okay. And then you get I don't know, and then I got to the end game and it was just like more grinding. It's like grinding to get gear to the raid or like play PvP and just grind your way to PvP gear. But so I'm happy it has a story now.
It's a very good game, and I would suggest to anyone who would want to play a very good shooter game with progression like that, or you want to do some kind of raiding without the dedication of an MMO, I would definitely say get that game. I would advise it completely. But I have ran out of things that are on my list.
Yeah, I think we did everything on my list as well. The last thing I had to talk about was just, it's not upcoming, it already came out, but the 2DS XL That came out July 28th, I think. So that's a couple months ago. But I was looking forward to that for a while. I haven't had a handheld since the original PSP, and I haven't had a Nintendo handheld since Game Boy Advance when I was in like elementary school. So,
well,
but it was really cool.
Comical, we are taking viewer topics. Send me them on Discord, and we will.
For like next time?
Yeah, for next time. We'll take viewer topics, and we'll add them in there and see. We'll brainstorm them and take them in. Also, eventually, once we've got like the scheme of things, and we actually, because we had a very, very hard time. I had a very, very hard time getting people's screens to show up on my OBS. Comical knows.
Was he helping you out with it?
Yeah, he was the one that I told him to help me out about it. Yeah. We're gonna actually have like guests on the stream to like add in their aspect on certain things that we're gonna be talking about. But definitely,
and hopefully at some point a simulcast on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Yes, that is a goal. Yeah. But crap, I lost track of what I was saying. I do that a lot.
Your guests and stuff.
Guest stuff. Okay. Yeah, guest stuff's gonna be definitely a thing. I have a lot of friends through Twitch. I want them on here. I like Comical and I talked on my Twitch channel a lot when I was doing Let's Plays about like just talking. Like that's one thing that is probably one of my strong suits. I talk all the time, and a podcast would be perfect. And me and Krackakhan have talked about having a podcast since like 2012, and now we're finally doing it, and I'm super excited.
It's the end of the world. We got to make this podcast.
Yeah, we got to do it. Then we just put in like 60 hours of Terraria. Another game I'm excited about, Terraria 2.
Oh yeah, Terraria
I'm getting ready to call into work for a week.
I forgot about that. Do you know when that comes out? Now I'm excited.
Yeah. They're releasing 2 Terraria games, like Terraria Otherworld, which seems like Terraria and a half, and then Terraria 2.
Yeah, and that's gonna be cool. They're like blowing away the scale of like Terraria. You can like move between different worlds and stuff in that one or something. It's kind of like Starbound, right?
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be just a wild game.
Yeah, so that's I definitely love that one. There's just so much content in there.
Dude, when we game sometime, man, Comical, you can play with us without a doubt, man. But yes, I definitely am looking forward to that. I keep thinking of games I want to play now that we're on that subject.
It's hurting your wallet.
Yeah, I'm like, Terraria 2 is going to be like $20.
Yeah, So
or good. 15 maybe. Like they're never going to charge that much for it. I remember getting it without it being on sale for like $7, and like when I first got it, and it was, I had like 90 something hours played on it, like 96, and I did it all in like 1 month. Yeah,
we played that game like it was a job. We just played that like all day for like an entire week. And it was awesome too.
It was like I was looking forward to it. I was like, well, got to put 10 hours in tomorrow. Like we got to defeat that boss. And like I remember also we would get off just to watch Workaholics, then get back on. And then Jake would work on it while we were away. Like, it was awesome.
Oh, Workaholics! I missed that show.
Yeah, they got old though, just like us. Like they got old.
But yeah, I remember in Terraria when we killed Skeletron, and like we had no gear. Like you were in like nothing. Some of us had like copper. One person had like one piece of silver gear, and then all we did was we built a house like right near where you summon Skeletron, so that when we died, we could just run back and keep the fight going. And we must have died. There was like the whole place was like those death little marker things. Like there was like hundreds of death, but we killed them and just went from like having nothing to like having end game weapons and stuff. That was awesome. We just went straight to like demon scale or whatever it is.
And then we fought up
mithril or something. I don't know.
I remember when we were making the Hellevator. That took us forever. Like that took us hours to make the Hellevator because you had to put the platforms and you had to like jump down like slowly.
Yeah.
Well, then you and Necro were on the wall of flesh. And I was like, guys, don't fight him. Don't fight him. He's super hard. I was like, wait till I get down there, get a ranged weapon out. You didn't even use a ranged weapon. You just like started hacking at him with one of those swords.
And I don't think I had one.
No, because we all picked like a role. I wanted to be the ranged guy. Yeah. You wanted to be melee, and Necro wanted to be magic. So dude, he starts coming, and I'm telling, he starts coming, and we're like, see him, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. Here's
Yeah.
the hard fight. We obliterated him.
How did we do that?
He didn't even get close to us.
I know.
I had the mini shark and was like, do 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 do, and his health went like instantly low. And I know that Necro kept like shooting him with the lightning bolt or whatever bolt that he had at the time, and you were just like hacking.
I know.
At
I had
him.
like a spear or something. I was just like, oh, and then like running back.
And we destroyed him. Like we beat him. I think the only boss that we had trouble with in that whole game was the twins, and it was because we had a terrible like plan that we got all online. We didn't do our idea. We did what we saw online, and we got our asses handed to us.
And then we did it our way afterwards, and like destroyed.
And we like destroyed them. Like they didn't touch us again.
I don't know how we like we went through that game like so easily. We just like walked through everything and did it like so quickly.
And none of us had any experience on it.
I know.
I remember Chronodox gave me
We're like,
gear.
what is this boss? Oh, let's just wing it, and then like destroyed it in like the first attempt.
Yeah, and then Necro is just he's got probably well over 100 hours on computer, and he's got like 200 hours probably on console. He's played that game so much. Like I remember he brought his Xbox 360 to my house, like laid it down, and was like, "Mind if I update this?" I was like, "What game are you updating?" He's like, "Terraria." Like I'm finished with it, and it's got a huge update now. I was like, all right, go ahead. And then he played Terraria on his Xbox, and it took, like, he played it for forever. But that game's perfect. Like, if you ever want a game that's, like, a bang for your buck, you're going to play a lot of it for not very much money. It's that game. That game is incredible amounts of replay value. And even they have a easier server system now, don't they?
I don't know.
Because when we had it, it was difficult.
Hamachi was terrible.
And you would just, like, lag across the screen. Like, you'd be like,
yeah, Hamachi sucked. But yeah, I played a lot of that back when I was like streaming too. I would do like multiplayer events and stuff too. And one that was cool was like I think it was like maybe like an hour or something. We would split into like two teams, pretty big teams, and then there'd be like a divider in the middle of the map, and then we would like split off and we would like get as much gear and as much like build up like castles and fortresses and stuff as much as we could, and then we would go like try and kill each other like after that 1 hour or something. And that was a ton of fun to do.
That is awesome. We should do that. I know Larksa and Harem they're two of my friends from Twitch. They really wanted to do the Terraria server. I think we should do it. I really do.
We should definitely do it at some point.
We should make it, and like if everybody streamed it, it would be crazy. Because like Larksa streams, Harem streams, Comical streams, I stream, you stream, or we even put it just on the QuestCast. That's like 5 people, like all on one stream doing like a thing. I think that'd be super interesting. I think it would be super cool too. And probably Bernichiwa would want in on it too. So
let's do it.
Yeah, I'm game. I'm game to make a Terraria server or a Terraria 2 server even too. I'm definitely
come out. Hold on,
we're gonna have to look it up because I'm excited.
I'm looking it up on my phone, so it's not super loud.
Comical, have you played Terraria?
Terraria 2 release date.
It'll probably just be in the Steam store.
I don't think it has a specific date yet. It's been in development since February 2012. I don't think it has a release date yet.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know the details. Me and Krackakhan will talk about it.
Yeah, so for this channel, we're planning on doing like some kind of like Let's Play or game stuff at some point too. We'll have this. We'll have like maybe like a video of Let's Play or some kind of multiplayer gaming each week.
Oh, you can go very hardcore into the game though, Comical. It's got a lot of replay value to it. It's a very great game.
Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I have a little bit more. I guess back when another game, I was excited. One of the things that made me want to play or get the 2DS XL is the Fire Emblem series. I'm a huge fan of that series. It's one of my favorite like things about on Nintendo. So I got Fire Emblem Awakening, but the newest one is like Shadows of Valentia or something. And that's like a tactical RPG. I don't know if you play it. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics or something where it's like you have like a grid and like you move units around and they level up and like change classes and stuff. But yeah, that's super fun. I'm really enjoying it. And there's like, they have a mobile game too called Fire Emblem Heroes that I'm slightly addicted to. That's a ton of fun. It brought my, like, I wasn't even thinking about Fire Emblem really. I was playing like the original on like an emulator on and off, but I wasn't really thinking about it. But then like I got Fire Emblem Heroes and it made me super excited, and I had to get a 2DS so I could get a Fire Emblem game that was not made. When was the first one? The first one has to be like
Game Boy Advance.
20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying
15
Game Boy
years ago.
Advance. I remember renting it from Blockbuster.
Can you rent Game Boy Advance games from Blockbuster?
At mine, you could. They had all the good ones. They had like Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby, and then they had Fire Emblem. They had the Kirby game, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. They had all the good ones. I remember buying those games and then seeing them like able to rent. I love Fire Emblem though. I like the aspect of when your character dies, like they're gone.
Yeah,
like so
just
you got
permadeath.
Well, and
wait, here's a deciding thing. When one of your characters dies, do you like reload and replay the level, or do you live with that? Do you just keep going?
I shame save.
I shame save too. Like I would go back and play. I'm just like, no, you can't die on me. You're my favorite character.
Yeah, like I always like playing the Dragoons. Like when the Dragoon would fight, I would always be like, and he died, but nope, I'm done. It's like they bullied him. That's not fair. Yeah. The game knew he was my favorite. They bullied him. Like fail safe. Because I was talking to Necro about it, and Necro's getting really into like the games where they're like extremely difficult. Like he's a glutton for punishment when it comes to video games. But he was playing through like one of the Fire Emblems down, and like he's gotten his ass beat a couple of times, and he's like, oh, I shame save all the time.
You have to. I do that in so many games.
Phoenix Wright.
Quick save.
I have heard that people do that in Phoenix Wright, and I have not heard of Hidden Agenda at all. Comical.
Which one's Phoenix Wright? Is that like the lawyer game?
The lawyer one, yeah. You can lose by picking like the wrong things to ask people.
Oh wow.
It's
life or death. You just die in the court.
Objection. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I know. That's like all I know about it.
But it was it's pretty interesting looking game. But I think that handheld games are going to get more powerful, and with the Switch,
yeah,
that's crazy. Like you can play Skyrim on a bus now. That's wild.
That new Zelda game. What is that, like Breath of the
Wild?
Breath of the Wild. That looks amazing. If I got the Switch, it would be for that, but I still don't think I probably will. But it looks really good.
My rule of thumb is if you're going to buy a console, there has to be 5 games on it that you have to want. Like there's
exclusives.
Have to be that you have to want to beat. That's my opinion. Because that's how you'll get your money's worth on it. Oh, Twerk for Peace. That's us. We're talking about Fire Emblem right now.
Big fans of Fire Emblem.
I've only played the Game Boy Advance one, but I have beat it, and I shame saved constantly.
Mm-hmm. You can't leave. The Awakening is interesting. It has like a support system, and like if you pair up 2 people like for long enough, their support will go up, and they'll actually like get married and stuff in the game, and then later like they'll have kids that'll be like a combination of their stats and skills and stuff. I'm not that far into it, but it sounded weird to me at first, but it's kind of addicting. You're just like matching people up, and you're being like a little weird matchmaker. You're just like, oh, those 2 are gonna be good together. They're gonna make a good they're gonna make a good baby unit later.
I've only played the first Twerk. I've only played the first.
You only played the first Twerk.
Yeah,
you have many Twerks left in you.
I have many, yes. I've only played the first one that was for game. The first one they put on Game Boy Advance. It was super good. I couldn't find any.
Was it on Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color?
Well, the first one I played was the first one that came out for the Game Boy Advance. And then I really want to play the one for 3D. They have one for 3DS, and I think they even had one for
Awakening?
the Wii U. Yeah, I want to play.
It's like the really, really popular recent one.
Yeah, because
I have. Okay.
Yeah, I have the kick-ass one for. I have a kick-ass 3DS XL for the kick-ass one. It's the Pokemon one. It's got Blastoise on it because Blastoise is my shit. Like it is by far one of my favorites. So I don't know. That's another game that you're bringing up. Now I'm wanting to play more Fire Emblem. We gotta stop. I know. I really should. There's so many games I want. I want all the Kirby's too.
I played like the original Fire Emblem. I think the second one was like Sacred Stones or something. And I have Fire Emblem Awakening now, and I play Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game. I'm kind of addicted to that. I want to get Shadows of Valentia. That's the newer one, but it's kind of like a weird blend. Like, have you ever played like Paper Mario? It's kind of like one of those things where like, not the entire game, but just where you're like walking around in like an kind of like a third-person RPG thing, and then you you attack someone in that, and then it goes into like the traditional map where it's like the turn-based type fighting, which is kind of weird and interesting. So I want to try that out.
Yeah, I definitely. You got me wanting to play all these games that I didn't play before. I've also got the goal because I've never beat a Zelda game by myself. I want to play them, by myself on my 3DS because those games are pretty decently long and they have HD remakes on, which is crazy to think that a handheld console can play updated, better looking N64 games now. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm definitely. All I'm getting is a bunch of games that I want to play now. Like I'm gonna make a new list of games, not that I'm excited for, but games that I have to buy.
That are
Thank
out.
you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That's an idea
I'm gonna be
for
working
next
like
time,
triple
right?
overtime at work. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, boss is gonna come at me like, hey, why do you want to work so much? It's like, I have a lot of games I gotta buy.
I got a lot overtime.
Yeah, put me in for that overtime. I will work 50 hours this week. That's fine. Fine with it. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I went through all the ones I have.
But yeah, guys, make sure I don't have the link for my Discord. We don't have a Discord set up yet for QuestCast. That might be something that we'll do before the next stream. Not 100% sure. But shoot me a message on Discord. Let me know what you guys would want to see on the stream. We'll take those into McHanner.
McHanner got in here right at the very
end. She got
end.
in here just right at the end. But it's okay. She is loved by the stream.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to see the full thing, maybe they came in at the end. We're gonna put the entire thing up on our YouTube channel here on QuestCast, so you can check that out later. Yeah,
we are trying to make the cast as user friendly or as friendly to the audience as possible. We are going to have them archived like on the channel, everything like that. But yeah, so now I'm going to go do my finances and see what credit cards I can get to buy all these games that everybody's been wanting me to play. The next one, we're gonna try to do it once a week.
Yeah, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We're trying to keep, I guess 8 to 9 is the goal, but I mean, I'm fine if it goes a little bit over, but we'll try and keep it at least an hour long.
I don't sleep anyways. I love doing stuff like this. I know people who've been Fable 2. Yes, I will play Fable 2 on my channel eventually. I know everybody who is fans of my channel knows I'm super passionate about streaming, video games, podcasting, everything like that. I love it. I do not need sleep if I'm doing that. So I have no problem.
I don't need to sleep or eat. I don't need anything.
I don't need to sleep or
just live off Fable 2.
I live off Fable 2. I'll eat the chickens in that game and gain health. Chickens and apples. But yeah, thank you guys for all showing up. I really do. I love the support. A lot of my friends came from Twitch. You guys are great. Like I said, you're the best friends anyone can ask for. McHanner showed up.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. You really are. And once again, send in those suggestions, and we will look into them. We will definitely pick something that we can talk about for a solid we're aiming for at least an hour. An hour. So we've went over now. We're almost an hour and a half now.
Yeah. We just like games, so we just kept it going. Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Tell your friends.
Yeah, so share this because we're going to keep doing this. It's something that we've been talking about for years that we really enjoy. So
yeah, definitely. And it's something, like I said it before, I like to talk. So doing a podcast is a dream thing for me. But I do appreciate it. Oh, I just punched my mic. Probably blew a bunch of people's eardrums out, but I appreciate all of you.
It's a tiny punch. You're good. Do you want to do an official
I don't know
outro?
I don't know how to do an outro very well. What I
just say smash the like button a lot.
Smash the like button. I'm not gonna dab because we're professionals here.
Don't dab. Well, this is serious
we're professionals. I will, Comical, no problem. I will not dab. I appreciate you guys. We will be back on the stream Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We hope you guys all have a great week. Look forward to seeing you all again. Please dab. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, thank you everybody for watching. We will see you next week.
Let's Plays 2 come.
Yep, Let's Plays 2. All right.
We good?